Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. Gun violence and drive-by shootings continue to be a problem across Spokane, and now police and city council members are exploring a technology which could show police where shots are coming from within a matter of seconds. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk explains how this device works. Kyle?
Well, the company behind the device claims it can detect actual gunshots instead of fireworks or cars backfiring. It can even let officers know the general type of gun being used. The technology, however, is quite expensive. When people call 911 to report a gunshot, they don't always know exactly where it came from. And that makes things difficult for officers responding. But this gunshot detection device could change everything. Eagle Technologies is the New Mexico company behind it. When the system detects a gunshot, it alerts first responders and provides an approximate location.
This version that we're looking at actually uses energy, and it detects the energy emitted by a gunshot.
Spokane police started looking at the system last summer following a rash of shootings, including one in which an officer was hit. Councilman Michael Cathcart is interested in how the device could improve public safety.
While this does detect it after the shot has gone off, that is still a way for us to respond and immediately investigate and hopefully hold those people accountable that need to be held accountable for making neighborhoods unsafe. The biggest problem, and the reason why it's not installed yet, is that it's very costly.
That's because SPD would need hundreds of sensors just to cover a few square miles. Costs could range from $1 to $2 million, not including annual maintenance fees. The project could be funded using a grant from the Department of Justice, which SPD is in the process of applying for.
This really does seem to be an effective technology, and when you consider the level of violence and shootings that are happening in our community all across the area, I mean, we have got to figure out how we can put a stop to that.
In Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
In other news this evening, we are learning more about the cost to defend the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students. While the alleged crime happened in Latah County, Kootenai County Public Defender Ann Taylor is representing Brian Kohberger. A new agreement details the compensation that she and her team will receive for defending him. Latah County Kootenai County will pay Latah County will pay Kootenai County $200 per hour for Taylor to represent Kohberger, and Latah County also agrees to reimburse she and her team for mileage, lodging, and meal costs. Taylor's investigators will also get compensation at a rate of $45 an hour. We reached out to local attorneys and they tell us that $200 per hour rate is actually on the low end for a murder case of this magnitude. The devastation from the earthquake in Turkey and Syria is overwhelming. Tens of thousands of people are dead and millions displaced. It is a faraway disaster that is very personal for one local Spokane man who has lost more than 20 members of his family.
He is in Turkey now trying to locate his brother. He can't find him. He has no news. He doesn't know what happened to him. He doesn't know if he's alive. He doesn't know if he's dead. Nobody knows what happened to him.
And this is your cousin?
Yes, my cousin that I grew up with.
Hakan Dalyan grew up in Turkey. His childhood home, his extended family, and countless friends gone in minutes, victims of the recent earthquake that shook Turkey and Syria. Tomorrow, we'll hear his story and find out how the Inland Northwest can help right here on KREM 2. Well, the first round of ballots are in tonight. Spokane County voters are deciding several countywide propositions, including 2 that will determine funding for local fire departments. First up, the Spokane Valley Fire District Proposition number 1. Take a look at the results so far. Again, these are initial returns. So far, it is easily passing 67% voting yes, 33% voting no. This levy is meant to provide funding for the Valley District to maintain fire protection and medical services. Next up, Fire District 8. Taking a look at the early returns thus far, 68% voting in favor, 32% voting no. Again, these are just early returns. This proposition authorizes the levy of excess taxes to again maintain fire protection and medical services there in District 8. Well, a few weeks ago, we spoke to the Spokane Valley Fire Department about their need for funding. Firefighters say last year they responded to a record number of incidents, more than 23,000. That is the most in a one-year period in the department's history. The new funding will make meeting the increasing demand a bit easier for the department. It means more money for fuel, new equipment, and hiring more firefighters.
Clearly, we're using more diesel fuel. Clearly, we're using more supplies to be able to do what we need to do. But in terms of personnel, we're just working our firefighters harder and harder.
If renewed, the levy will secure funding for the next 4 years. All right, taking a break from the headlines now to talk weather. We saw a bit of snow today before the sun finally broke through. Let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. And Jeremy, on my drive back from dinner tonight at around 8 o'clock, also a few snowflakes coming down here in the South Hill.
Yeah, I saw a couple of those myself and I went, huh. And then as quickly as they fell, the skies cleared and we're back to some cooler conditions. Believe it or not, temperatures right now on the cool side of things. We sit at about 30 degrees here in town, and you don't have to go far to find some of those colder temperatures. 30 in Coeur d'Alene, 23 in Deer Park, 28 in Sandpoint, 29 now in Omak, and temperatures down below freezing both in the Palouse and out in central Washington. Overnight, we will fall back down to near 20 or into the upper teens. It is going to be rather cold. Tomorrow, we'll climb back up to near 40, but that's as we start to see a little more sunshine in the sky. There's what Mark was talking about. This quick little band of really, really light snow moved through a bit earlier. Now it's working its way through Coeur d'Alene. It moves out overnight, and tomorrow we'll wind up seeing a little bit of sunshine in the afternoon. And I think it's a mix of clouds and sun taking us through Thursday and Friday as temperatures climb back into the mid-40s.
Sounds good. Jeremy will check back in with you later in the broadcast. All right, now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Right now until midnight, Spokane Quarantine is raising money for 277 families at Logan Elementary. Rick Clark hopes to raise $28,000 in 24 hours, and that money will be used to purchase a $50 gas and $50 grocery gift card for each Logan Elementary family. Clark says he wants to help relieve some financial burdens.
Caring from those families really made it hit home to me. These are families that are sitting on the edge of their seat hoping that they can get a $50 gas card or a grocery card. And that, I remember being that family. And so I want everybody in Spokane to know that we're coming for you guys. Like, we're not letting, it's not gonna happen on our watch. We're not gonna let you fall. We're too big of a city. We have too much compassion to let people just fall down. So we will do everything we can.
Well, we just checked the Spokane Quarantine's Facebook page, and they have hit their goal as of 7 p.m. tonight. Clark said additional money raised will be used to add money to those gift cards. People looking to donate can send money to Help Spokane on PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo as well. Well, the teen suspect in last week's deadly East Central shooting made his second court appearance today. This time, 16-year-old Leland Westerlin is facing first-degree murder, assault, and robbery charges, adult charges. Today, a judge set Westerlin's bond at $1 million.
The danger to the community and the nature of the allegations, the court does find that $1 million bond is appropriate at this time.
So according to the state of Washington, if a 16-year-old or 17-year-old commits a, quote, serious violent offense or any violent offense along with certain criminal histories, they may be charged as an automatic adult. Well, just a few days ago, a driver crashed and damaged a gravesite at St. Thomas Catholic Cemetery over in Coeur d'Alene. Several headstones were knocked over and the fence surrounding the site was broken. And one of the most damaged sites belonged to a baby Bauer who died in 1920. Those who run the cemetery say there's already been an overwhelming amount of support from the community, and they hope to have everything fixed as soon as possible. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word NIGHT to 509-448-2000, and we'll send them directly to your phone.